Yay. All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to We Are No Alamo, the mental health podcast. Before we get started, I want to take a time to thank you to everyone who's been listening to the WannaPod. Please keep rating, review, and subscribe to this podcast on iTunes or SoundCloud. Tell a friend who might benefit from listening and add us to your Instagram story. Shout us out on Twitch. Everything helps. Help us spread the word about the importance of talking about mental health. Also, if since you've been listening, sometimes we joke about suicide, death, and other difficult mental health issues. It keeps things light because this is really hard to talk about. But we want you to know that we don't take it lightly, and we're concerned about you and the rest of our listener base. We really do care about you and your well-being. So if you're having suicidal thoughts or plans, stop listening to this podcast. It's not important. Call 1-800-273-TALK or text HOME, HOME, to 741-741. And that's the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. It provides 24/7 support to people in crisis situations as well as family members. I've called this number at a dark place in my life, and it's helped me to find the resources I need to be okay. Remember, this podcast is about opening up the conversation, and sometimes it's easier to talk about hard stuff when there's a little laughter involved with the Wanna fam. Remember, we want you to stay with us, and you're not alone, because we are no Alamo. Yeah, all right. To the pod today, I have a special guest, my mother, Sherry. Hi, Sherry.
Hi, Sherry.
Hello, and as always, Donnie. How's it
What's
going,
up,
Donnie?
everybody? How are you?
Yay. So since September is about structure, of course, I wanted to bring on my huge maternal structural figure, my mother. So thank you so much for coming on the podcast today.
You're welcome.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling nervous.
Are you feeling nervous? Well, while you're feeling nervous, don't worry about it. We're all Wanna fam here, remember? We're going to go ahead and do our social media shout out. So our social media shout out goes to M. Sue today. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, also September Suicide Awareness Month. So she posted on her Facebook the other day, said, "Reminder to anyone that my house is a safe zone. Coffee can be on in minutes, or if you prefer tea, no problem. I will always be available, even if we haven't talked in a while, even if you think it's weird or we aren't on speaking terms. Text me, call me, message me, anything. I will be there. I'm always a shoulder to cry on and an ear to listen. Nothing is worse than being alone and going through things alone. Hashtag, it's okay to not be okay." Mom, what do you think about that?
When I read that, I thought, I want to post that, but I'm not a big social media person, so I guess.
Which is really interesting. Tell us a little bit about your background. What do you do, Mom?
I am a high school computer science teacher.
Superhero. And what do you love about it?
Everything. I love teaching. I love computer science. I love, I know that teachers say they make a difference in people's lives, but I really believe that I do, and that what I teach isn't just programming, that I teach more life skills and teaching my students about just being able to learn.
Yeah.
Because I think learning is more important than the exact discipline that you teach.
Yeah. Well, also, you definitely have taught me how to be a human being. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Bring it back to the mental health thing. When did us as a family start going through mental health awareness, do you think? Did it start when we were kids? When did you start noticing that something, like we needed to start being more open about our emotional well-being?
I don't think that I really was aware at all until your dad and I started really considering divorce when you guys were in college.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that I really thought about the possibility that mental health or mental illness would be something that we would have to deal with as a family.
Mm-hmm. So what changed?
I think that when the three of you went away to college at the same time, because I have three of you that were one after another in school,
Right.
that when you went away to college and you would call and say you were sad, or my youngest daughter would.
And we're really close. Like you were mom on top of the baby having. I'm 29, Christian's what, 27, Ellis 26 now.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Mom.
Thanks. On purpose, I wanted to have everybody all at once.
Well,
and
I'm
it was
grateful for it.
awesome. And I just never really, I thought that everything that I did with the three of you growing up would be enough to take care of your education, number one, health and well-being, number two, relationships, that everything I taught you and everything we did would make you so successful in every part of your life, not just academics and college, but relationships and business and success in your jobs and your careers, that everything I did prepared you. So I think that put a lot of responsibility on my shoulders, and I just thought that I took a lot of blame and guilt then when it seemed to me that everything started
falling apart,
that the three of you weren't the...
So let's put like some context on that. Whenever I first started going to therapy, I was probably 18 or 19. I think I just...
In your freshman year?
Yeah, just gone to college. When
Right.
did Christian or Ellis go to therapy? We were older. So what I'm saying is you start exhibiting signs of depression like in your early 20s, late teens. And that's what the research says, especially with like schizophrenia, it's early 20s, like these onset of these symptoms. So what we were talking about probably was just like going through life phases, and then it kind of cascaded into, with me, depression. And it was nothing that you could have never like prepared me for, because you prepared me for everything, of course. But like being diagnosed with depression when in my early 20s was an eye-opening experience where it was on me a lot of the time. It wasn't just you. So that worry that I like get from you all the time, that I feel like you didn't do enough, totally no, that's not true at all, Mom.
Shout out to all the moms out there, right?
Yeah.
Shout out. This is like the toughest job in the world,
Yeah.
especially if you're going through things like depression and having to be a mom on top of that. So I want to say thank you.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
Momsarethebomb.com. Call your mom.
Yeah.
Call your mom.
Call your mom.
All she wants.
If you're fighting with your mom,
Text
or you're
her.
like, or there's like some drama going on, or there's like,
Yeah.
just remember that it's nothing. Time doesn't stop for any of that, and before you know it, you
Gone.
don't want to have regrets. So just suck it up and be a champ. Right?
Exactly. Thanks, Daddy Don.
That's what I'm here for.
I'm excited that you get to go through that whole process with your wife of her being a new mom.
Yeah,
It's exciting.
And it's actually something that a lot of people don't. I feel like that's actually a topic that a lot of people don't get into more often, and that is postpartum
Right, exactly.
depression, which is actually a real thing. And every single, I think it's like clinically proven that every single woman goes through at least some sort of postpartum after giving birth, because they just feel like this vessel that is just needed for one thing and one thing alone, and that their life is over, and that they don't have, and they feel guilty because why do they feel this way? Because they have a newborn child, and it's like they feel like they're failing as a mother because they have these thoughts that are totally natural,
Yeah.
and they go through this like phase, and it's like if you aren't prepared for that, like I know me as a father and as a husband, I did a lot of research before Valentina, my daughter, was born. And I didn't even do research on her in general, like being a baby. I did research on my wife and what happened to her, because at the end of the day, those first couple of years are so crucial for like development.
Right.
And it's hard for kids to go without a mom. It's hard for kids to develop properly without a mother. Like, fathers are important, yeah, but a mother is,
Are you being self-deprecating right now?
No, I'm being scientific, because
Yeah.
like that's literally what it is.
true.
You know, like a father is a father, yeah, like he'll be there. I'll always be there for my daughter. And sure, there are moments in time where you hear that daughters are more attached to their fathers because they love their daddies and
Yeah.
they love their, but like I feel
Man.
like in the beginning, mom goes through all the sacrifice, goes through all of the pain, goes through labor, has to feed the baby, has to
Yeah.
do everything, has to. So there's a lot
you're being
more.
supportive there. Yeah, definitely. Like growing up, the best times of my life with you and Christian Ellis, we would just be like hanging out in the kitchen or like popping out the bed on the living room couch and watching terrible TV shows and like ordering pots and pans from the television shows. Do you remember that? We bought the green nonstick pans from the television show.
Paige.
Yes.
QVC?
She did.
You QVC.
QVC. I would like to say this about having a baby, that Paige was my firstborn, and that having a child didn't make me the mother that I am, didn't make me the mom. It made me a parent of a baby. I think that it took years for me to become the mom to understand that, yes, I do sacrifice and I do love this human being that I brought into the world more than anything else.
Love you too,
And
Mom.
that then when we decided to have another baby, thinking, I can't ever love another baby as much as I love Paige. And then
You can stop the story right there.
another baby comes, and then you think, oh my gosh, I love this baby so much more. Just kidding. So much. I have enough love. It's that your love doesn't divide, it multiplies.
Yeah.
And just knowing that being a mother gives you the strength and the courage and the education to mother a child. And so I am even more of a mother now than I was on that day when I gave birth.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it is a process, and you learn. I still learn every day about being a mother to my children in their 20s, and talking out there to other mothers who thought the teenage years were, once those were over, we were home free when we were raising our kids, and it's just not
We've been
true.
working harder on I can say this out loud, we've been working the hardest on our relationship, Mom, in the past 2 years. When was it? 2016?
In
Since
your
then,
20s.
Yeah.
In all three of you in your 20s than ever, because I could control, and control sounds like an intense word, but I was in total control for 18 years of my children in their life. The scheduling that I had, the homework scheduling, all the way down to where in the house you would sit and read,
It's the
and
mom
how
of structure
long it
over
would
here.
take, and what you would eat after school for a snack, and then what time you would finish homework, and what time we would have dinner, what time
And
the
I
bath
lived for
was,
that
and
structure all the time because that was our whole life growing up.
But I think what happens now is that now I can't structure them, and I can't call them and say, have you taken your bath now? Have you eaten your veggies now?
That's
Yeah.
totally, that's totally
and
the
it's
fact
so
that
hard.
it's hard letting go. It's hard. And like me, like for instance, right now, my biggest dilemma is not actually being a father or being a husband, or my biggest dilemma is not showing my mom enough attention because I have a newborn baby. You know, like I'm so used to being close to my mother because my dad is like the type of person where he comes from Italy and was in the army, so he doesn't.
A little machismo there.
Yeah, he doesn't really believe in the whole like I love you, come here, let me hug you, let me give like. It's more like, you know, I love you.
Yeah.
You know that you're my son. I don't have to say it. Like we're not gonna go there. But my mom was always like, you know, she showed me that affection. So now that all my attention is on my daughter, it's weird because my mom has kind of stepped into the shadows, and it almost makes I feel bad sometimes because I'm like, I want to talk to her and I want to sit, but if I put my attention like as much as I had before on her,
Right.
that's attention that I'm taking away from my daughter.
And I'm glad you kind of brought that up because it's the whole, like, where am I going to put my time and where is it going to be?
You only have so much of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I've really prioritized time as part of, like, building a life worth living and structural. And not as much as I'm saying, yeah, I'm making sure I have more time. It's no, I take my medications at the same time every day. No matter where I am, at 2 p.m., I take a walk. I am prioritizing staying awake. If I, like, every morning now I get up with Matthew at, like, 6:20, 6:30 in the morning, and then I stay awake all day because if I'm
Are you like Mark Wahlberg?
exactly
Go to bed at 7 p.m., wake up at 3 p.m., 3 a.m.
I'm getting some
I go to bed at 7 a.m. I wake up at 3 p.m.
Hey, it's fine.
I got a time machine. I go back in time and I wake up before I go to bed, and I'm sitting and making sandcastles.
Speaking of Wahlberg, Mom, you are social media averse. Why?
The main reason, I think the main reason is, personally, where I am in my life right now is I went through a divorce 6 years ago, and social media made me think that everybody else's life was perfect and mine was not.
Social media effing sucks.
Yes. There was actually a study done by the University of Copenhagen that found that Facebook envy is a legit thing that people get.
Of course.
And it affects with your mental health. It fucks it up.
It makes
Social
you think,
media
what's wrong with
is
me?
destroying this planet.
Oh.
I really think like, and you know
I
what's,
love to snap my children.
Yeah.
Is that social? If you Snapchat to your own children?
That's fine.
My mom's my only friend on Snapchat.
But I
love Snapchat.
I don't know, man.
Exactly.
It's like, I think that the scariest part of it all is, like, I think about the example of, like, what's going to happen. Like, right now, I think we live in a society that if Jesus were to come back. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Jesus for a second. Were to come back and walk on water in front of everybody. I think everybody would miss it because they'd be on their phone looking down. They wouldn't see Jesus walking across the water. Now? They'd be like, oh, like, I'm on my phone. I'm updating my status. And it's like, when you're updating your status, Jesus just walked across the fucking water in front of you, and you missed it. Because that's literally, you go into Austin, you go into New York City, it's literally people. There exists now a thing that I call phone traffic. And when you go on a highway, you hit traffic. You walk on a sidewalk, you hit traffic.
I like that.
You go in a mall, you hit traffic. People just like this,
phone traffic,
on their phones, looking down, and I'm like, what are you doing? And as a photographer, as a videographer, as an audio engineer, as what I do, I pride myself in looking at the actual world, trying to find details.
All white noise, right?
Yeah.
And there are these sites called, like, one right now is called Our Data Helps, and they are an organization that actually is here. I'm going to tell you, they are looking to get access to social media data from people who have completed suicide or who have demonstrated symptoms of depression through social media by quantifying, language. So, Mom, when you're looking at social media, and can you talk a little bit about, like, what you've done at school as far as, like, suicide prevention techniques and everything? When should we worry about social media, especially regarding family?
As far as training for teachers, the training that we go through is based on our relationship with our students at school, because we, as educators, are blocked we are not allowed to be friends or in contact in social media in any way with our students.
I was on social media blackout.
So,
can I stop you 1 second? I just have a question for you. As a teacher, as a person involved, a professional involved in this field in 2018,
yes.
Do you feel like because of social media, you cannot get as close to your students as you did before because somebody might record it, somebody might Snapchat it, somebody might take a photo of you doing something that is completely not in any way, shape, or form like bad, but can be twisted in some way in the media and all this crap that we have out there. Like, do you feel
talks
like,
about this all the time?
do you feel like that maybe you can't do your job as much as you did, say, in like the 90s or like, the early 2000s because of this whole social media escapade?
Well, I will start many years ago when I started teaching, and if any of my old students are out there listening, hi, old students.
Hope you're making good choices.
Make good choices, wisdom, failure, wish it, dream it, do it. Yeah. Anyway, with my students back then, I could rant. And if you are one of my students, you probably remember that I would go on and on about.
What's hilarious is
how
I was actually in her computer science class.
If you are 15, this is who you are. And if you have to get up by yourself, and if you don't get up by yourself, if your mom gets you up, or if you cheat, or if you make bad choices right now, welcome to your life. This is who you are. You are never going to change. You might as well just give up now, kind of thing. I used to just rant and rant and rant. So now I definitely have backed off on my personal feelings about raising my children, because I said to them, when you're 15, you are leaving me and you're going to a movie with your friends or something. And I can't go with you and say, Paige, look at me, make good choices here.
Don't eat gluten. Don't eat gluten.
You know, and I'm not going to be there with you. So I just let that overflow into my teaching. And then when I moved to Austin, and I had a different audience, and social media became such a big deal in school, I really just backed off. I can't share my personal views so much, but I will tell you this, that this year our school district has adopted for a couple years, we just said, phones, everybody have your phones, it's awesome,
tablets.
Use them, yay, everything. And
So
this
great.
year we've adopted no, put them away.
This year?
This
Wow.
new school year.
I haven't heard about this.
That we have decided that, no, they're not helping. They're not helping
No
us
Fortnite?
educate our kids, right? They're just
She probably knows about
not-
Fortnite, I swear to God.
I do know. In the UK, 5% of divorces that were filed in the last year
Or because
cite Fortnite
Are
as
you kidding me?
the reason. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I read that this morning. I think maybe I
No way. That makes
saw
me
it on
gag.
PBS or something, but yeah,
How crazy is that?
right.
So you don't.
It's true.
Because why? Are you afraid? What are you?
No, I'm not afraid. I just think that we need to get technology, personal technology devices out of the classroom. And mostly because our students, our children, our humans don't speak to each other. It's so difficult to have students collaborate now. And the students that I have talking about depression and suicidal ideations, I have
What are the signs? What is
stack.
that? Yeah.
I have so many students who, when they come in my room at the first of the year, and I stand at my door and I shake hands, and I teach my students to shake hands and make eye contact and speak to me and
Every day.
ask me how I am. And I get to ask them how they are, and it's how I take attendance. And
She's the best
and now,
teacher.
after my first 6 weeks, they stand at my door and they wait, and they look forward to shaking my hand and making eye contact, because that needs to happen.
Because it might not
They
happen
need to
outside of the
know-
classroom.
Well, it won't, and they need to know that someone in the world, other than their mom and their
They're
dad,
not
can
alone.
look in their eyes, and they are not alone,
Mm-hmm.
and that I know your name, and I know you are in my classroom today, and I am thankful that you are in my classroom today,
Mm-hmm.
and I love and appreciate that you are in this world.
Yeah.
Because I have a stack of students who have been identified as diagnosed with anxiety, depression, and all the list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
And
And that's a double-edged sword, right? Because when we were talking about before with us, we weren't really exhibiting signs until we
No.
sought out therapy. But now, like, what are some of those warning signs that you've been taught in training? Like, tell us, because now they are so, like, you were having trainings on these. You teach
Yes.
11th, 12th grade?
I
What
teach
grades?
9th through 12,
9th through 12.
and they're all mixed together.
So what is that
Um,
training like? What goes on with it?
The training that we do as educators is very specific about, like when Paige was first diagnosed with bipolar and when she was first experiencing suicidal ideations. I went through my very first suicidal training at school, and I called her and I said, Paige, through my training, I'm supposed to use this language. are you going to kill yourself?
Mm.
And that, I couldn't even say those words out loud to her.
Yeah.
Because
it was kind of strange saying it to your
because
own
it's
daughter.
like, if I say that to you,
Are you going to
go
kill yourself?
Well, here's the thing.
It would be on me, like, for bringing it up, I put that in your mind. And we learn that that isn't what's happening.
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
by saying it, we're validating that I am here to help you because I validate that you are going through this.
Well, getting back into the social media example,
Yeah.
I think something else that I actually thought about of recent is that when I was going to school, a teacher was able to protect you from things like bullying and from things like just common occurrences that happen.
Right.
The thing with social media and the internet and the access to all this from devices as small as, let's say, an Apple Watch, okay, is that you take away the ability for you to be protected. And what I mean by that is that not even as a parent do you have control over somebody bullying you, even over the internet.
Right.
What can you possibly do? What can you, like as a teacher, a student comes up to you and says, this guy's picking on me. Maybe in the 90s, maybe in the 80s, maybe in the 70s, you go up to him and say, hey, listen, I heard you're picking on Mark, example. Heard you're picking on Mark, leave Mark alone. I'm your teacher, I'm gonna go to the principal, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna report you.
We're going to have like varying hierarchical structures of
Exactly.
dealing with the situation.
Now it's out of their control.
Now you can't do anything except be...
What are you gonna do? Go and delete the internet for the kid?
Right.
What are you gonna do? You're gonna go to the student and be like, oh.
Did you see that Black Mirror episode where the mom puts that electrode in the kid's mind?
And then
Remember that
she
one?
gets older and it's like messing with her because she
Yeah.
has no privacy.
Mom, you need to see this episode. It's crazy.
It's one of the best episodes of Black Mirror, which by the way touches
Shout out Black Mirror.
on a lot of subjects that people like with the whole gaining likes with
Yes.
Bryce Dallas Howard trying to gain
That one's
likes
so good.
on like this social media platform they have developed.
Or else you're valueless.
Yeah, it's like a
everyone
currency.
around you
It's like a currency. Like, yeah, it's crazy.
as yourself. So from the students, like, do they feel that way? What do you do with that stack of students?
Well, I would like to back up and say we are powerless as teachers to know the needs of our students as far as if there's bullying or if there's something going on, because they don't share those things with you, but the power comes from walking in my classroom every day and knowing that I care so much that you are here today. And I really, and I say this, I care that you learn programming, kind of.
Yeah.
But what's important to me is that I get to spend, some of my students I spend 3 years, an hour and a half a day, 5.5 hours a
And
week.
even we, as your daughters, get to build connections with your students. They bring her coffee.
I mean,
We talk about them.
Can I make another valid point here?
Go ahead.
That, and this is something that I was grown up on, being that my dad comes from Italy, being that he's super old school in his ways. My mom, old school in her ways as well. I think there's an issue here, and the issue is sensitivity combined or compared to action or reaction. And what I mean by that is that a lot of kids today are super sensitive.
Yes.
And the reason, like, if you compare a 17-year-old today to a 17-year-old when I was going to high school or when I was going to middle school, they're two completely different things altogether. And why I say that is because when I would be home and I would go to my mom, and maybe the teacher had no control, and I would go to my mom and say, oh, I don't know, so-and-so's picking on me. My mom would look at me and be like, well, you know what you do? You go up to him and you kick him right in his nuts. And you know what? Like, it sounds harsh, right? But the thing is that what do you do in that moment when you're the only one who's in control of what's going to happen to you? You know, I think that's why maybe, just maybe, schools and all these facilities need to put into place a certain level of
Safety.
of not only safety, but a certain level of punishing a student or reprimanding a student after doing a certain level of investigation towards that. So say Mark punches Billy in the face because Billy put nude pictures of Mark on Facebook for the world to see. And for him to stop that from happening, he had to go up to Billy and basically knock him in his teeth. And Billy, I'm not going to do it anymore because I got my teeth knocked out. You know, as this school, if I was a principal, and call me harsh, call me whatever, I guess I'm a different mindset, how I was raised. If I was the principal, I would be like, you know what? I'm not going to look at Mark and be like, you're all in the wrong here and you're going to get reprimanded. I'm going to look at Mark and say, you were saving face because you didn't want to go down a path where you were worried about getting suspended. You were worried about getting in trouble at home. You were worried about nobody being able to help you. You were worried about all this stuff that convolutes and clouds your mind to do something, okay? Right. When it was just as simple as going up to somebody and literally being like, enough is enough.
But I would like to bring us full circle then.
Yeah.
It's not as straightforward as now you're in trouble because of the high level of social anxiety and mental illness that we face with our students, and that these students may be reaching out
in whatever way they possibly can.
Right. In a world where human interaction is fleeting faster,
and it's still
we can
so
bring it back.
But that's the point, right?
Important.
And
that's the point, though, right
so
there.
Important. Positive human interaction.
But that's the point, though, right there.
It is.
That's what this podcast is about.
Like kids, right today in today's day and age, would not expect you to walk up to them and kick them in the nuts per se, because they'd be like, hey, you're going to just go dislike my photos and post comments on me. No, dude, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to kick you right in your... You know what I mean? Like, and it's like, I get it that it's violence, and I get it that you're saying that it's whatever. But at the end of the day, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like you get to a certain point where you have to become animalistic in who you are and be and natural in who you are and say, I have to defend myself.
Right, exactly. And to like kind of connect on that, Mom, like, what do you think, like, where are the boundaries? Where do they lie without you fearing for the worst? Like, your son's going to get kicked in the balls. Like, as far as looking at social media and, like, worrying about that.
Like, would you be upset if Paige grew up in an environment where she was getting picked on all the time, and one day she snapped? And one day she went to the girl that was posting pictures of her that were fake, or posting rumors about her that weren't true, and she just one day snapped and just knocked this girl right across her jaw, and the girl never did it again. Would you be upset with that?
Would you be upset? I'm totally kidding. Of course you would be upset.
I would be upset. I don't know.
It's tough, right?
So, okay, maybe the point is you guys as a school system and the principals and everything are trying to create the school to be a safe zone for those kids by taking away those tablets, taking away that social media outlet, taking it away, bringing back the fundamentals of school and education and teaching. Hopefully that is what it's about.
Human interaction. And knowing that a student has an adult who is happy that they're in my room today.
Mm-hmm. That's all it takes.
I am glad you're in my room today, and turn your phones off. We're not worrying about all of that right now. And the hardest thing about that is I can't take that worry away for my children, my 20-something-year-old children.
29.
I can't take their worry away.
I think the best policy to do is implement, honestly, from a government perspective, I think the best policy to implement to end all of this would be an age restriction on social media.
Oh my God, we can't even
18 plus. 18 plus.
For everything, but...
Forever. Like, if you are 18 years or younger, you should not be allowed to be on social media.
I think as a parent, I want the freedom to make sure that I get to choose what's best for my own family, for my own children.
But what would you
I
choose?
think we need to trust. My children, I went back to school to get my computer science bachelor's when
Shout
my
out.
children were a little bit older.
She was the first woman at the University of Texas at the Permian Basin to graduate with her Master's of Computer Science.
That's
Everyone,
awesome.
the first person.
clap.
Clap
Woman, person,
Period.
Period.
Anyway, so I was so excited about computer science, and I was learning about networking. So I bought like 5 computers, and I networked the whole house, and every child had their own computer in the room. And then Paige crossed a boundary. And
I looked at porn.
got in trouble, and the next day, no computers.
Straight up.
It was like
straight up. That was it.
One or the other. So the next day, all the wires are out, no computers in the whole house, nothing, everything is gone. And then they didn't get a computer until they graduated from high school then. So as a parent
Structure.
So it's like
Boundaries.
you learn as a parent, and there are parents who just, in computer science, their students are so much more technologically literate than they are, and it makes them so happy because they're like, yay, they're going to be this great, they're going to major in computer science, yay. And I'm glad, major in comp sci, woo, I agree. But you have to learn as a parent, as a person in 2018, you have to learn that, okay, that didn't turn out so well. That choice I made, giving my child an iPhone when they're here's a comparison.
2?
I believe very strongly, I have a strong conviction, like someday if I ever do a dissertation, I have a really strong conviction about kinesthetic learning when babies are little, and connection between math and sequence and patterning, and the connection between like wooden puzzles, and how digital technology is destroying our logical,
like our
ability
physical
to program, because programming is logical, like to do
That's interesting,
math,
Mom.
because you don't have a logical sequence. When I was in 2nd grade, we had phone books stacked up in my classroom. We had to look up
As chairs?
francs. So you had to go A, B, C, D.
That was her last name, her
So
maiden name.
you had to understand the sequence of alphabetical order. Our children now, the students I teach, sequence and
I've never thought of it like that.
they
Ever, like the whole process.
because that's what math is.
I
It's
totally
patterns and
wholeheartedly
sequencing.
agree with what you're saying about it. Like
Dang.
the example with Paige and what you said, what you did. But here's where the issue lies. Here, where everything kind of goes full circle and comes around for me to counter what you said. Kids are not stupid this day and age. So when you have
genius.
when
They're
you
so
have
smart.
when you as a parent, you go and say, okay, Paige looked at porn. All right, I'm gonna take her internet away. But then you go to a computer
Right.
2 weeks later and you're like, hey Paige, did you look at porn again?
I hacked into
No,
it.
I didn't. But maybe she did. And maybe she learned about VPNs. Maybe she learned about incognito tags.
Right.
Oh
Maybe
my
she learned
God.
about
I wish.
and then takes away through technology your proof.
Right.
And then you're screwed. Because
Yeah.
you're like, as a parent, you're like,
Right.
I have no evidence here to back up or take that away from her. That's why I mean that you can't trick kids today. The only thing you can do is put a restriction on until kids realize, holy shit. The only way we're going
And
to get
maybe
this
not.
restriction.
That's what the study would have to be about, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Maybe they will I feel like it's like you take something away from somebody, okay, long enough for them to learn a lesson from it. Kids.
Oh my gosh, you actually
Start-
like
start
have segued
hustle.
into a segment that I really wanted to do.
Yeah.
It's called Mom Vice. Ba-dum-bum, it's Mom
Ba-dum-bum.
Vice.
Mom
Mom
Vice.
Vice.
I
Yeah.
would like to, but I'm going to
I
add
want some
this to
mom
the end real
advice.
fast.
Okay.
So, I think, and I have no scientific evidence about this at all, this is just a mom thing and a teacher thing. This is what I believe. I believe that the more technology demands the time of our children, that the more alone they are. And I think that is what is directly correlated to depression and feeling so alone. Because if I'm 50 and I get a divorce and I am adult enough to know that everything online isn't real that I read, or that everybody's life isn't perfect, then how in the world can a 16-year-old look online and know that those people, their life isn't perfect, and I don't have to kill myself because my life is horrible?
Right.
And that is why it's so important to me to make eye contact with my students and let them know that the digital world isn't real. It's not real. The bullying is not real. It's veiled in anonymity, and it doesn't truly exist like it did when Joe Baker punched my sister in the nose in 5th grade.
Yeah, but
It's just not.
But you go into, I think the root of all this is access to information. Okay?
Right.
So you have kids that have access to an unlimited amount of information with the internet, right? So you have somebody who says, "Oh, Jillian has herpes."
Mm-hmm.
Then you have somebody who draws a picture of herpes on the wall and they didn't even know what it looked like. And they went on Google and looked it up and they found out. They wouldn't have, they got the ammo to start the bullying through a unlimited access of information, for example.
And maybe we can even, like, just, what would Mom Vice say? What would you say, Mom?
Mom Vice would say, take their phones away for a specific amount of time. Have dinner with your kids.
Or implement the age restriction.
Oh my gosh, you want her to say that so bad.
I want her to say it.
You want her to say it so
because
bad.
it is such a solution.
She did. She restricted it on me.
I did. We had a shelf in the kitchen. When they walked in, they had to leave their phone in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But that was
so you're
back
not
then.
wrong.
I just think that as a parent, it's up to you. And as a double-edged sword as that is, like even at the beginning of this when I said I still feel so responsible when Paige, because of Paige's mental illness, I think I should have done something. I should have helped more.
And we've talked about that in therapy so much. That should is a judgment, and those worry thoughts are just exacerbated by you identifying the symptoms that you've learned about. But coming full circle, like, I truly believe that this whole experience from 2016 when I had my first psychosis to now has only helped our relationship grow stronger. It really has. And of course we have our ups and downs and everything. You're my mom.
Can I
Love you, Mom.
I just want to say something. I just want to say something to people out there suffering with depression and anxiety and being bullied and all this stuff. I guess I want to just be really, really rudimentary here and say what doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Exactly.
That's the best way to look at it.
And you're not alone at all.
Yeah, like Paige is a prime example of this. You have somebody who was diagnosed with being bipolar, somebody who's on medication, but yet you sit here and you're creating. You're creating and you're touching.
Well, thanks, Donnie.
But so that is something positive that came out of something that maybe really isn't negative. Maybe it's just something that is meant to happen, and that should make you feel better as a mother and understanding that there was really nothing you could do to stop that. It's just
so
the way chaos theory works.
I love chaos theory.
That things need to happen for a reason. That your daughter wouldn't be sitting here right now touching the lives of all these people that watch her on YouTube and follow her and listen to her if that didn't happen. So maybe that's a good way to look at it.
Yeah, thank you, Donnie. That was so nice. High five. Oh my gosh. Compliment of the day from Donnie, our audio engineer. He's the winner. Mom, what do you want to leave us with today?
That as a mom, I have been through the deepest depths of guilt and blame when I wondered if Paige was still alive. And knowing how grateful I am every day that she is here with us, and that it's not just on us, though, the family, Paige's family, it's on Paige too. For
Completely.
Paige to understand that
I need to be the biggest
if
advocate
we
my own
don't-
well-being.
Well, but as a family, because we're talking about family, that if I don't tell her, because the girls and I share, of course, a thread and texting, and like the other two girls,
Group
if
text
they have
for the win.
something good happen, and the three of us, me and my other two daughters, like actually kind of make a decision to keep it from Paige so that Paige doesn't feel like she is less than what's happening, the good that's happening in the other girls' lives. That
Which
would make
makes
her
me
feel
upset.
badly.
Like, for example, my sister is doing something really big with her life, and I felt sad that no one told me, really, and everyone was like, well, we just didn't want to, like, upset you or anything. I'm like, it's not upsetting. It's like a cool thing. Like, these are the things that we need to share. And so you can't just tell me that, this is also a true story, that my rabbit died and then expect me 8 months later to come home and see that it's not there anymore. You did that. My rabbit died. She's not talking right now because she knows it's true.
Oh man.
Okay. Let's get back to what we were saying.
My rabbit went to the farm.
So
Whatever.
It's
good.
We're ending the conversation with you ask me what I would like for everyone to take away from this. That
Love
if
you, Mom.
sometimes we don't always do the right thing in your eyes,
Tell me my rabbit died.
that it's because we're trying to protect you.
I love you.
And that it's not always my job to protect you and be afraid. Because it's so easy to be afraid.
And sin,
And
not
it's
fear.
so real
Mm-hmm.
to be afraid.
And I want to tell you what a great job you are doing, Mom. Seriously, thank you so much. Like, being on the podcast, being a part of the Wana fam, you had to do a huge mastery skill today.
I'm very anxious.
She's very anxious. So let's close up with, we already did our mastery. We did the podcast. High five.
Nice.
Self-soothe. Why is self-soothe important, Mom? Because
I love the essential oils.
yes. So after this, we're probably gonna go.
Because we
have
are
a
no
bath.
eucalyptus.
Yeah, we are no eucalyptus. Now, everyone, remember you're not alone
We
because
are the
we
eucalyptus.
are no Alamo.
Alamo.
We are no Alamo.
Love
That's
you
right.
guys. Take care.